evening. It just started raining really hard here. So it's also been thundering and lightning again. So you will probably see some worried dogs again, just like last Friday. Um, so I have Kirsa here and then Satya here for right now. And tonight we will do gentle, trauma-oriented, trauma-relieving yoga. I will potentially share some inside thoughts on trauma based on my own experience. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor. I know I say this every week, but I have to so that nobody misconstrues my advice as anything more than just personal experience and advice. So we will work gently and slowly tonight. And whatever I'm doing is a suggestion. You feel free to do whatever you like, just as long as you stick with it for an hour. That's the important thing. I want you to be sure to do an hour worth of yoga, not yogurt, yoga. Um, so grab any props that you might have, pillows, blankets, towels, blocks, straps, and use them however you want to use them. Make yourself comfortable in your positions. We are holding them a little bit longer than normally, so you got to make sure that you're really comfortable while you are in your yoga pose. Let's go ahead and come to a comfortable position. And this position does not have to be cross-legged seated. You can lie down, you can sit up in any way you like. And if you're comfortable with it, gently close your eyes. And then begin the journey inward. So you're going to observe what's going on inside of you on a mental, physical, and emotional level. And then whenever you come across, try to just acknowledge and observe, but try not to judge. And if any thoughts enter your mind, let them come and let them go, and try not to dwell on them. So we'll just sit quietly for a moment, noticing what's going on tonight. While you're sitting here, notice how your sitting bones are grounding you into the mat. They're holding you securely in place if you're seated, if you're lying down right now, take just a moment and notice all the different areas of your body that are touching your mat, touching the floor, and notice how you are secure, however you are seated or lying down. Notice the weight of your body pressing up against the floor. Or maybe you want to reverse it and feel the floor pushing up against your body. Either way, notice the weight of your body. And then bring your attention to your breath. First, observe, and then try to deepen your breath. And if it's possible for you tonight, try to breathe only through your nose. And we will practice breathing together. So I will count for the first round, and then the second and third round you're going to do on your own, quietly. So taking a deep breath and exhale completely. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. And continue on your own. Inhale on a count of 4. And then hold. Exhale on a count of 6 or more. And then hold again. And continue. And wherever you are, complete this round of your breath exercise. And then when you're ready for it, if you were lying down, you really need to sit up now. I'm sorry, I forgot to prompt you for your breathing exercise. But sit up nice and tall and let your chin fall to your chest. And then begin to roll up your neck. You want to roll your neck slowly in both directions and feel all the different areas of tightness. Anywhere in the neck, if you feel you want to hold at a certain spot, go ahead and do that. It's fine. Whatever you decide feels good to you tonight is fine. Just as long as you are gentle and careful with your body, everything goes tonight. Anything goes. Bring your right ear over your right shoulder. There's a principle in yoga philosophy that is called ahimsa, or no harm. And we often associate that with things like vegetarianism or veganism, meaning no harm to animals, no eating animal products. Take your left ear to your left shoulder, but really, and that is all true, but really ahimsa, no harm, starts with yourself. So be good to yourself and please don't harm yourself. You want to be gentle. Let your hands hang in the center and then look straight ahead and open your eyes to a soft gaze. I feel like I talked a lot. So come to your hands and knees right now. Oops, Justin, sorry. I stepped on his tail. Exhale to cat pose. Pull your back round. Let your head hang down. And inhale to cow pose. Sway your back and look up. I'm sorry, my angel. Continue at your own pace. Exhaling to cat and inhaling to cow. Moving back and forth. Slowly, or you can do it a little faster, whatever feels good to you. Try to synchronize your movement with your breath. And if you feel that you can tune better into your own self with your eyes closed, feel free to close your eyes. And then come back to a neutral spine. And we will just look over the right shoulder and then over the left shoulder. So again, you want to inhale center. Exhale as you look over your right shoulder. Inhale center and exhale as you look over your left shoulder, and just do this a couple more times on your own. Trying to create a C shape with your spine and your back here. And let's pull into extended child's pose. Widen your knees. And when you are in extended child's pose, press your third eye firmly into the floor for any prop that you might have if your forehead doesn't readily reach the floor like this. But firmly press that third eye, the area between your eyebrows, into the floor. And breathe. If at any time during your day you feel overwhelmed or anxious, try to do this. If you have the opportunity to take a break, pull into extended child's pose and press your third eye firmly down, and then employ that breathing pattern that we did in the beginning of class. And notice how your anxiety lessens. Let's come back up to the hands and knees. And we're going to sit over on the left side. And again, I think we went over this either last week or just recently. I I am very lopsided here. My hips are not flexible. I have an injury, an old injury on the left side of on my left knee, on the left side of my body. So everything is lopsided with me. But what we'll try to do here is open the hips a little bit more. So let's sit, and if possible, you want to have both sitting bones secure on the floor. If that's not happening, maybe a blanket underneath your tailbone helps you. And so we're going to sit up tall here, and then we're going to move over to the other side. So it's sitting over on this side, and notice the difference. Think about lengthening the spine, and then we'll sit over on the other side again. And if your hips work better than mine, you can do this more smoothly, just switching side to side. But now here, let's just make little circles with the torso. And notice, we usually do this when we're seated cross-legged, and to me, that's a little bit more smooth. This is not comfortable for me, but it's not hurting me. But if your hips are more open than mine, then maybe this feels pretty good. Let's see if we can do this hip circle in the other direction. Notice what that feels like. Find all the different areas where you have a little tightness. And then maybe you can feel that melt away with movement. Let's switch it off again. And then let's do the movement again. Rotate it in the opposite direction. I can hardly make circles here. That's an interesting observation. And then we'll switch it off once again. And then here, we're going to keep the shins like they are, and we're going to lift up. And we're going to push both hips forward. Just keep pushing forward. Lengthen the spine and sit back down. And come back up. And push the hips forward. And I'm thinking I'm doing something new here. We haven't done this before. And I can really feel this. And I don't want to just keep going on and on and on about my hips and how they're not leveled and everything. But I can really feel this. So I'm hoping that this is, come on back up, that this is also beneficial for you. So push your hips forward. Push them as hard forward as you can. And then sit back down and switch sides. Once more. Last time that we're switching. Come on up onto, keep your shins like they are, and come on up. And then push your hips forward. Keep pushing. Lengthen the spine. And then come back down. Ultimately, you want to have both sitting bones secure on the floor. But if that's not happening, sometimes it's okay to put like a towel or a blanket right here where you have your gaps, where you're not touching the floor. Come back up, push the hips forward. Push them forward. Allow your hips to open up a little bit. And then sit back down. And we'll do this one more time. One last time. Come on up. Push the hips forward. Lengthen. Keep pushing. And then sit back down. Good job. Oh, wow. That was pretty tough for me. Take your legs in front of you, shake them out, and then extend them, keeping the knees just really soft and the feet freestyle tonight. Inhale, reach your arms up. Your legs can be just a little bit apart. And then exhale, just let your upper body fall over your legs. Wherever you stop is fine. And here sometimes, if you have a pillow, it feels really good to hug that pillow and just let your forehead rest on it. Just stay here for a moment and breathe. Direct your breath wherever you feel tightness. And with each breath, see if you can convince your body to let go a little bit, to let yourself melt down into the stretch. It's very passive. You're just using gravity. Try not to push yourself. You just concentrate on your breath. Let it flow through your body, and wherever it goes, try to release and relax. And then gently roll your back up. And let's come back onto hands and knees. And we begin with the fingertips facing away from us. Now let's turn the hands over and notice what you find. Where do you feel this? Sometimes it feels even better if you rock back just a little bit, but keep the heels of your hands on the floor. Just enjoy the stretch. I know that if you do a lot of typing, you probably need to stretch really badly. And then we'll sit back onto the heels. And while we're sitting here, we flip the hands over. And now we're stretching across the tops of the wrists. And then switch sides. And now we're going to place the hands down onto the mat, and we're going to lift up into our first downward facing dog. Pedal your feet back and forth. Notice what your legs feel like. Notice what your feet feel like. You can flip them over, rotate the ankles, whatever feels good. Whatever feels good in your down dog, do that. You can stay soft with the knees. You don't have to straighten them all the way tonight. Now let's try to add just a little bit of movement through the shoulders, rocking forward and back just a little bit. If this is too tiring for you, you can also do this on your knees. Again, rocking forward and back and noticing what's going on in your shoulders tonight. You can rock far, or you can keep the rock to a minimum. Just pay attention to your shoulders. Notice what they feel like. And also pay attention if you might come across some emotions that are attached to the sensations, to the physical sensations that you come across. And let's go ahead and just settle into the down dog. Spread your fingers wide. Let your head just hang. Let your neck be soft. And along with the soft muscles in your neck, try to also soften the muscles in your face. There's no need to hold any tension in your facial muscles right now. Just let it melt. Let any tensions you might feel in your face muscles melt away. And then pull into extended child's pose and press the third eye down again. So here I have another challenge for you. Which challenge, I mean, I cannot demonstrate it, so I'm going to try to talk you through. We're going to widen the knees a little bit more than we usually do in child's pose. Okay, and I'm going to face you front because you need to see my legs. I try, okay? So your knees are wider than they would be in extended child's pose. Now, take your feet and turn them like such, okay? So you probably felt a pretty strong external rotation in your hips here. And now, come on down. And press your third eye down. So what I'm trying to demonstrate here is called frog pose. And in frog pose, if your hips are really flexible, your bottom should be really close to the floor. And you notice that mine is nowhere near, but that doesn't really matter because I am still in this external hip rotation, and this pose is beneficial for me because I need that flexibility in my hips. Somewhere along the line, I lost it, completely lost it. Breathe slowly into the areas where you feel tightness here. And then gently help yourself back out of this position. And I wish I could have offered you to stay longer, but I can't stay any longer. This really is uncomfortable for me. Let's sit back onto the heels, but this time we're going to prop the toes up like this, and then just sit up high and stretch the toes. How often do we stretch the toes in everyday life, right? Never. But the toes need stretching too. So see if you can just hang here for a moment. Breathing deeply. And then we'll transition back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we're going to take as many steps as needed
bending the knees, coming forward into a ragdoll. You can either let your arms hang or you can grab opposite elbows, but make sure that the crown of your head is facing straight down. And you can sway with your upper body, keeping everything loose, letting gravity pull on the spine. It should feel really good. If your eyes are open right now, you would be looking at the wall behind you. Just to make sure that you're not holding tension in your neck. You can check it out. And then slowly begin to roll your back up, one vertebra at a time. Slowly coming all the way up, and when you're up there, let your shoulder blades slide down your back. And let's go ahead and inhale as we reach the arms up. You can stay exactly where you're at. I'm just facing the camera so you can see me better. And then let's take this right hand and grab a hold of the left wrist. And then as you exhale, just pull the arm over. Notice what that feels like. It should feel as if your arm is getting just a little longer here. And then take it back to the center for an inhale. And then exhale and switch. Pull the other arm over. Should feel really good. I feel the stretch all the way down to my hip. Come back to the center, inhale. Now as you exhale, take your right arm out to the side. Oops, I have an itch, sorry. And then inhale here again. And now as you exhale, come into a crescent moon to the right, bringing the left arm over. And when you can't move over any further, then begin to bring the right hand to meet the left and see where you wind up. Try to keep the head all the way in between your bicep muscles. And then come back to the center, inhale. And exhale as you let the left arm come down. Inhale as you stand here. And exhale, go the other way. And when you can't bend over any further, then begin to bring the bottom hand to the top hand and see what you get. Again, try to keep the head in between your bicep muscles and feel a nice stretch through the side of your body. And come back up, inhale. And exhale. Roll down one vertebra at a time. Maybe you feel a little bit of heaviness in your shoulders right now because you just did two pretty deep stretches up there. Just observe it, acknowledge it, notice it. There is no label that fits. It's not good or bad, it just is. Take the right foot back and put the right knee to the floor. And then slide the right knee back. And at the same time, move the left foot forward. It's getting scary. Make sure you're not on any slippery surface here. You need real traction, okay, so that you don't wind up in a split that you didn't mean to be in. And just kind of move yourself as deeply into the stretch as your body wants to take you tonight. And pay attention also because we're about half an hour into the class, but we haven't really moved very vigorously, so your muscles may not be super warm. So just listen to your body and notice all the different areas where you can feel the stretch. Notice and observe. without judging. So we want to try to keep labels off our observations, but if you want to be playful with your observations, then maybe you can put colors on your feelings, or maybe you can associate something else, a smell or something pleasant, a song or whatever makes you happy. That maybe you can associate with your stretches. And if that didn't make sense, then just forget about it. It makes sense to me, but my brain it works differently than other people's brain a lot of times. So come back out of the stretch and switch side. And if you don't know that, if you have, for people who have PTSD, the brain actually is working a little bit differently than that from neurotypical people. So what I described may not make sense to you, and that's fine. We don't all think the same way. Slide yourself as deeply into the stretch as you want to, as it feels good to you, and notice maybe how this side feels different than the other side did. Are there any emotions that are coming up here? Emotions usually come up in the deeper stretches. Gently come back out of this position. And then lift back up into down dog. And we're going to lift the right leg up. Bending the right knee. Look under your arm to the ceiling. And let's make slow circles with the right knee. Just rotate it around. Think about making big, slow circles. And then also go in the opposite direction. Feel your hip. From here, we will go into pigeon pose. You can either come into pigeon pose from here, straightening the leg first, and then bringing the right knee to the right wrist, like such. Or you can first come down onto your hands and knees, and then bring the right knee to the right wrist. Either way you want to do it, it's fine. You want to arrange your legs in a way that you can stay in pigeon pose for a moment. Look towards your back foot, making sure it's not turned in like this. It's facing straight back. And we'll stay up high for a moment. You decide whether you need to sit over on the right side a little bit or not. Sometimes it's good to put a little something like a towel or something right under here. Give you a little boost up. Breathe. Notice all the different areas in your hips that are tight, that feel the stretch. And maybe you can direct your breath again to the areas that are very tight. And maybe when you do that, those areas soften for you a little bit. Let's take the upper body down. See if you want to take your arms alongside the body. And just take slow, deep breaths. Try to relax in this position. This is sleeping pigeon. Release any tension you might feel in your upper body right now. And just surrender as best you can. Slowly breathing. And then slowly release. Step back into your downward facing dog and wiggle out your hips a little bit. Go back and forth. Good job. And notice also your body's response as you come out of this deep stretch. And then we'll lift up the left leg and bend the left knee, looking underneath the arm towards the ceiling. And then we will do our circles here, leading with the left knee. Big circles going in one direction. And then take it in the opposite direction. Just opening the hips a little further. Moving the ball portion of the hip joint through its socket. And then bring this left knee to the left wrist, either from here or from your hands and knees. Either way works. When you are here, slide the right leg back and look at your right foot, making sure that the toes are pointed straight back instead of inward. And then we will stay up high first. And once again, starting the process of scanning the body, noticing where all you feel the stretch. And since we just finished this same stretch on the other side, compare. Compare in a way of left. I felt it more in this area than I did on the right side, or something like that, rather than my left side feels better than the right side. That's labeling. We don't want to label. And it's so difficult not to. I know. I'm not trying to preach, okay? I'm just trying to get you to think a little bit differently when you observe what's going on in your own body. Let's slowly come forward and down. Once again, if it's good for you tonight, take your arms alongside your body. You can either press your third eye down, or you can turn your head to one side. And then think about relaxing your upper body while you're enjoying this deep stretch for your hips. And if you feel a lot of tightness, focus on your breath and direct your breath wherever you feel a tightness. And maybe your body lets go a little bit. And then slowly step it back. Oh. To downward facing dog. Walk it out. Wiggle your hips from side to side. And let's go back down to a seated position. Now, pigeon pose is pretty deep for the hips. It's a deep stretch. Let's try to go even deeper tonight.
If your hips do not allow you to do what I'm about to show you, the alternative is to cross the right leg in front of the left. So not over, but in front. And then leaning forward like this. Okay, that's the alternative for the tight hips. You can also put pillows underneath your legs if your knees want to stay up high like this. So then if you put pillows under here, your legs are supported and you don't have to think about anything, and then you can lean forward like this. If your hips allow you to do this, try to have your left lower leg parallel to the edge of your mat, and then place the right ankle on top of the left knee and the right knee on top of the left ankle. Flexing the feet. Inhale, reach both arms up, and then exhale and fold. And breathe. And again, you can put a prop right here and place your third eye firmly down, or you can just put one fist on top of the other, keeping both sitting bones on the floor. Breathe. Let your upper body relax. And notice where the tension is. Where's the tightness in your hips? You should feel this more in the hip of the leg that's on the top right now. Breathe deeply. Let your body tell you what's going on with your hips. And then gently pick your upper body back up. For me, in order to not get frustrated in these deep stretches, and I tend to get frustrated when I feel a lot of emotion coming up. So I guess frustration is part of that, of that emotion. But whenever I feel that way, for me, it gets easier if I become a little bit more playful with these poses instead of being so serious. Let's switch sides. Again, you can do the other variation, or place the left ankle on top of the right knee and the left knee on top of the right ankle, and then inhale and reach up, and exhale as you come forward. And then just relax here. Remember, you're always welcome to close your eyes. That way you can tune better into your own body. You're less distracted, and you can really take this hour to work with yourself, with your own body, noticing what's going on. Try to relax your upper body and just breathe. And then gently bring your upper body up. And notice also as you come out of the stretch, again, notice the response that you get from your body. Let's go down onto the back. And then stick the legs straight up into the air. We'll stay here for a moment. You can close your eyes, but just give your feet a little love. Rotate your ankles, point and flex your ankles, scrunch up your toes. And we'll reverse the flow here for a moment. not for long tonight. You're helping your venous blood come back to the heart a little easier. You're also helping your lymphatic fluid to slowly go back from the feet to the torso. Neither one of the two, the venous blood or the lymphatic fluid, have any pumping action that help. So when you reverse yourself, you help your body, you make it easier on your body to bring whatever pulled in your ankles and your feet, to bring that back to your torso, to your heart. The eyes can be gently closed. Deepen your breath again. We're not going to stay here as long as we usually do, because I want us to have time to do a nice deep twisting stretch. So let's take the legs down and then cross the right leg over the left and cross them tightly. And if your flexibility allows you to, wrap the right foot all the way around the calf. And then place your left foot down, take your arms out wide. Your right knee is on the top. So let's drop both knees over to the right and let's let the head roll to the left. Make sure your shoulders are on the floor. And deepen your breath. Your body probably already feels that we are about to move into our final relaxation. So close your eyes gently, deepen your breath, and enjoy this deep twisting stretch. If you don't like to have your legs crossed tightly like this, you can just simply uncross them and still have both knees drop over to the right side, letting the head roll to the left. Let's bring the legs back to the center and switch the cross. And then drop the knees to the left as you let the head roll to the right, making sure both shoulders stay in contact with the floor, and breathing slowly and deeply. In these deep twisting stretches, sometimes you may hear your back pop, but when that happens, it actually creates a little bit more space for you, so it should feel good. Deepen your breath. Again, if you can, go back to that breathing pattern we did at the beginning of class. Inhaling at a count of 4, holding the breath with full lungs, and then exhaling on a count of 6 or more, and holding the breath with empty lungs. That will signal your body that it's time to relax. Bring your knees back to the center. And now, bringing the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop out to the side. Let's go ahead tonight and place the hands onto the inner thighs and just use the weight of your hands to guide the knees a little bit closer to the floor.
We did a lot of outer hip rotation tonight. We did a lot of stretching for the external rotation of the hips and not quite so much for the inner thighs, the internal hip socket. So this is something for the internal hip socket. Hello, Kasha. Hello, my precious girl. Bring your knees back together now and make your way into your final relaxation position, whatever is comfortable for you. You don't have to lie on your back. You don't have to lie down at all if you rather sit. You can support yourself on the wall with the legs up, or you can put your back up against the wall if you're seated, whatever feels good. Gently close your eyes. And begin once again by noticing what is going on inside of you on a physical, mental, and emotional level. Notice all the different areas in your body that are responding to you right now. Acknowledge whatever you come across. But most importantly, enjoy this moment of relaxation, allowing your breath to flow freely through your body. Gently begin to make movements in your fingers and your toes. Let your thumbs brush up against the pads of your fingers and notice the tingling sensations that create. Roll your head from side to side, just gently. And then extend your arms overhead, reach your fingertips and your toes away from you. Lengthen, inhale deeply. And then as you exhale, curl up on your right side. And thank yourself for showing up on your mat tonight. And then keeping your eyes closed, gently help yourself up to a comfortable seated position. When you get there, place your hands into Anjali Mudra, which is the universal hand position for reverence. Thumbs to your heart, head slightly bowed. Take another moment to feel your body, feel your body's response to your yoga practice. Feel your heart beat. And I really hope you feel good about yourselves. You did an awesome job tonight. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.